everybody, and welcome to Brooks Knows Baseball, the weekly podcast where we talk about all the going-ons and the happenings in the baseball world. Today, really quickly before we get started, I think we've honestly gained, well, heck, we're almost at 55 subscribers, which is great. We're growing, and we also have some really big news here. So, T-Bone, if you would like to share with them, and then I can kind of jump to my little spiel there as well.
Yeah, we got our first major sponsor. We're so proud to welcome SeatGeek to our podcast. Great company, and they got some benefits for our listeners here.
Yes, they do. So I do want to give a shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring. Like we said, we recently became a brand ambassador for them. So what SeatGeek is, they are a ticket app that takes the confusion out of buying tickets on a scale of 0 to 10. They tell you how good of a deal you're getting. 0 obviously means it's not a great deal. It's going to be red, but if it's green, it's a good deal. Up to 10. I personally use SeatGeek myself, going to some football games down here in the DFW previously. Plus, the great thing about them coming on board and sponsoring us is everyone here, if you want to buy some tickets and you haven't used SeatGeek before, go on to SeatGeek. I'm going to put their link in the description below, and they will give you $20 off your first order. Just use the code Brooks Knows Baseball. They get you $20 off your first ticket order. So, if you're in New York City, go to a Yankee game. They suck right now, but you can go to a Yankee game. But like I said, Brooks Knows Baseball gives you $20 off the SeatGeek order. We're super excited to have them on board with Brooks Knows Baseball as our first major official sponsor.
All right, great.
But today's episode, I think what you're really going to need to talk about, trades.
Well, what I was thinking, usually I have pages of notes, but today I figure you read the trades off, and I'll just go fly by the seat of my pants here and tell you what I think, and some one team that's not active, what I think about that, and why.
So we'll start right now from the most recent trade, which would be the Angels acquire C.J. Cron and Randall Grichuk for a Jake Madden and Mason Albright.
Well, Grichuk I like, and I think he was doing pretty good this year. Do you got the numbers in front of you?
I can.
Yeah,
Randall
but
Grichuk, let's see.
Grichuk,
Randall this year is hitting 308, which is good. 240 bats. He has no power. And he is I guess he's kind of old. And his name's
yeah,
Randall.
he's always been a solid player, and I believe he's a pretty good fielder.
Yeah, CJ Cron, I know he's got a little bit of power with him, but he's been hurt this year, right?
He's been everywhere but the electric chair and saw everything but the wind as far as his career.
He's 33. He's not far off from 34 years old. He's hitting 259 this year, 200 at bats.
But you know what? The age doesn't matter. They just want him for a pennant push. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they've traded, I think I read their second, third, eighth top prospects. All this to finish third. That's what's going to happen. They're not going to overtake the Astros. They're not going to.
They got Giolito and Reynoso, right?
Reynaldo Lopez.
Oh, Lopez, right. But that's a good move. But I agree with you. I don't think it's going to be that helpful. I mean,
I think
Houston is the stuff, but then Texas with what they've done. Texas to me so far is clearly the winner of the off season last year, or this before the season and the trade season here. They're definitely the winners because I guess you want to go ahead and you're excited about what they're doing.
Yeah, we'll get to them, but first let's go to the second most recent trade. That was Nicky Lopez going to the Braves, which is a little surprising to me.
Yeah, but don't you think the Braves always know what they're doing? There's something they need, or they don't need a lot. So there's a reason they got. Is he a switch hitter, Lopez?
No, he's a left-handed batter, but he's hitting 210 this year. So I don't understand that, and I don't necessarily think he's a superstar or Gold Glove fielder.
There's some reason they got him. I know his first year that he really played, I think, was when.
No, he played 103 games in 19 and didn't do good. But then 2020, I mean, no, he said one good year. He played 151 games and 21, hit 300.
Yeah, because wasn't Bondys or something got hurt that year and they had to play him. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, but it's the thing here. Like I said, he can play anywhere in the field. It says he's hit 210, 13 RBI, 67 games. He's hit 248 across his 5 seasons. And
That
then
trade doesn't really move the needle, does it?
no, not really. And then they got Taylor Hearn, which
That doesn't move the needle because he pitched like 4 games for Texas all year. I thought at one time he may be something, but once they started buying all
Taylor
these
Hearn
players,
for the Braves. Taylor Hearn from the
yeah,
Braves.
yeah, but he just came to the Braves from the
Oh,
Rangers.
gotcha. Okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But moving on to a really exciting trade here, where the Rangers acquired Jordan Montgomery and Chris Stratton from the Cardinals for Thomas Sagasy and
Yeah.
Tekoa Roby and John King. Let's see here. So the Cardinals are really in
King's
a
got a
fire.
lot of bigs.
Yeah, the Cardinals are in a fire sale. It seems like they got rid of Jordan Hicks, and it says here they sent Montgomery and Stratton to the Rangers. Roby's their 11th prospect for the Rangers, and Sagassi's the 14th, or their top 30
Well,
prospect. Not producing very good, which comes to mind. There's some other teams who need players in pitching who could have topped that easily, and they didn't do it, which we'll get to in a little bit here. Roby's not doing good this year. He's a third round pick in 2020. But I think the Rangers are going to be the team to beat in the second half of the season this year, because that's not the only trade they made. But moving on with the next trade, it says the Blue Jays acquired Jordan Hicks for Sem Robersi and Adam Kloffenstein. What a name, Adam Kloffenstein. Love it. Hicks this year is a 3.67 ERA, 41 innings. Brings some cheese. I do know that, but
I think lately his ERAs came down because I thought he was getting kind of roughed up. But I think he really throws hard. I think that's a solid pickup. But
yeah.
back to, I hate to move back and forth, but let's say the trades, then we'll kind of review the teams, what
Yeah,
they did.
Rangers acquire Max Scherzer, another huge one for infielder Luis Angel Acuna, who his
Yeah,
brother
that
is a
is
well-known player, Ronald
right.
Acuna.
That's a big prospect
That's
there.
their Rangers number three overall prospect and 44th overall
They're going
prospect.
all in.
They should. And I think when we'll talk about the Orioles, there's something I want to say as well about going all in when your window's here. And then you go to the Astros, got Kendall Graveman from the White Sox for Corey Lee.
I
Corey
think
Lee's
it's
like,
good.
I feel like Corey Lee's like
Graveman.
Joey Bart to me. It's just, you think he's going to be good, but he's never been that good.
Well, yeah, but I think them getting Graveman was a good trade.
Then the Dodgers, for whatever reason, got Lance Lynn and Joe Kelly. I think combined, if you add up their ERAs, does it equal 13 or 14?
I don't know. Is Kelly's really bad now? Because it was good for one
It
time.
started
I remember
off bad.
you told
I
me
mean,
they
it
have a
started
good.
off good. Let's say Lance Lynn is having a bit of a down year, 4.97.
Well,
Uh,
he's hot then because he was six in the
hold on,
sixes for a while.
I gotta. No, that's not. There's no way that's accurate. I'm trying to
I
read
thought he
quickly.
was in the sixes.
Yeah, it's 6.47, 119 innings. But they say
Right.
his career ERA
That's
is
hard.
3.71. That career
He
isn't
sounds
even.
like Severino in a Yankee. Oh, no, Severino's in the sevens. Never mind.
Yeah. To the White Sox, Nastrini, who was ranked as Dodgers' number 9 prospect. They're happy to get him. The Marlins acquired David Robertson for Marco Vargas and Ronald Hernandez. The Brewers got Carlos Santana for Johnny Severino. Lucas Giolito, Reynaldo Lopez for Kai Bush and Edgar Quiero. And the Dodgers acquired Ahmed Rosario for Noah Syndergaard. And I'm trying to think. Jorge Lopez got traded from the Twins to the Marlins for Dylan Floro. And
I've
then,
never been a Lopez fan.
no.
If anybody out there's an Oriole fan, you'll understand that one. Except for his
I'm just
decent
trying
two
to, like,
months.
there's a couple trades here that they're not really worth mentioning, but the Dodgers got Kike Hernandez.
That's
Um,
all right. He's going back. Remember, he played there 6 years.
Yeah, yeah. The Braves got. Oh, they already traded him, so no reason to even say that name. Blue Jays got Genesis Cabrera from the Cardinals. The Orioles, and we'll finish on this one because it's a while ago. I guess Shintaro Fujinami, who has
He
looked
looked
good.
good tonight.
He did
He
two
looked
scoreless
really.
innings tonight, so it was really good on his part.
He yeah, he
Brings
brings
him
the
look
heat,
good.
man.
But
He'll be good, I think.
those so far are the main trades. You know, there's certain teams that people are expected to be uh, have some
Players.
movement, such as Baltimore, New York, and Boston. Really, the American League East teams, because the American
Yeah.
League East is the most competitive division. No movement really, apart from the Toronto Blue Jays. But if you take a look at the American League East, if you go from today and 2 days ago, I do think the landscape's changing a bit, and I think that is the Rangers are the team to beat. Got to be, have to be. Because you look at
Yeah,
their starting rotation: John Gray, Nathan Eovaldi, who is arguably this year the top three
well,
pitcher in the
hey,
American League. He's on the 10-day
you
IL though.
you said earlier they got 7 starters now.
Yeah.
That's not even
Andrew
counting
Heaney
Degrom.
is going. Andrew Heaney's going to go to the bullpen. He's got to go. But and Degrom, Scherzer already agreed to opt in for next year. So next year he's going to stay with the Rangers too. That was a big deal for
That's
him. And
awesome.
then
Hey,
the Mets
let
are
me tell
paying.
you this.
The Mets are going to pay majority of his salary too.
I know that's really good, but let me tell you something. What I think a lot of people fail to realize, and I was talking to you earlier, you have as a good team, say like Baltimore, not doing anything, but I think you need to acquire some players to make a preemptive strike so other teams in your league, like the American League, don't get them. Yeah, don't you agree? Because
Yep.
you're letting Texas hog them all, and then come playoff time,
Oh,
you can get a
and you
World
can't forget
Series.
Texas got a Roller Chapman too.
Right, right.
They're
See,
going
so
all in, you know. So
right,
they're listen to this line. I think talent wise, they have the best roster in baseball. And if you do remember, Brooks News Baseball projected them to win the American League pennant this year. But Nathan Eovaldi, he's on the 15-day IL, so he's out for a little bit. But they got Max Scherzer, Jordan Montgomery, John Gray, and to say that right now the fifth star is Andrew Heaney. That's a really
Jordan Montgomery's an underrated pitcher. He's good.
yeah, and their staff is good, really good. Then in the bullpen, you got Chapman, Chris Stratton, Will Smith also is there in the
Mm-hmm.
bullpen. Jonah Heim, who's
He's
arguably
hurt.
the best pitcher in
He's hurt.
baseball. He's on the 10-day right now.
Hey, well, let
Um,
me ask you this: you watched the Orioles tonight? You seen Adley tonight? Only got on base 4 times.
Adley's the heart and soul of the Orioles. I hate
And
using that term
did
because I
you
think
see him
about
last
cliche.
night? And last night he picked off Bader on third base because Bader was sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Looking here again, then you got Nate Lowe at first base, stud. Marcus Simeon, stud. Josh Young, stud. Corey Seager, who's hurt right now, hitting
Josh is really
unreal. Travis
yeah.
Jankowski, your buddy. Leody Tavares, Adolis Garcia, and Ezekiel Duran. That is, they're
Anywhere else,
tough,
Durant would
man.
be playing every day.
They're tough.
They
And
are.
Bruce Bochy.
Yeah,
I think they're
he's
going
a
to take
proven winner.
off. Health is a big thing for them. I know Scherzer's a little old, but even looking at Max here,
He's had
um,
a good year though.
yeah. Well, his last 7 games, he's had 3.9 ERA. Not, for him, it's the worst he's had, but
Let's see how he
I still
performs
take.
in the clutch, though,
Wait,
buddy. You know he's a clutch.
I agree. And if you look at when he got traded last time, the trade deadline to the Los Angeles Dodgers, he did 11 games at a 1.9 ERA.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, 7-0 after the trade.
I'm a
Uh,
huge Max Scherzer fan.
I think he will be fine. And he's good. He's fantastic. Looking here at Jordan Montgomery, who just got traded as well to the Rangers. He holds a 3.4
Super
ERA.
solid.
Yeah, he's a very solid pitcher. Is exactly what you'd classify him as. He's 30 years old, and then in his last 5 games, he only had one outing, which was not good. But everything else other than that, he gave up 0 runs, run 0, 1, 1, and 3, and then 5 for one of the games. It was not the best outing for him, but you know what you're getting with him. I think the Rangers are going to go into the playoffs. I believe they're going to win that division as well, go into the playoffs, and they're going to be the team to beat. And I wouldn't
It's
be
looking.
surprised if the American League could possibly run through Texas at that point as well. That's the
It
number one
may.
seed. Because if
It
Baltimore
may.
doesn't do anything, they're going to fall off. Tampa's kind of dying out as well.
Yeah,
Tampa never
let's
makes
bring up
trade.
Baltimore. What in the hell are they thinking? I mean, for example, like I told you earlier, and anybody out there listening, you got all these prospects, but how many shortstops play on the field? How many third basemen? How many outfielders? So you might as well move them for pieces you need because you're going to lose them in Rule 5 eventually. You
Well,
know,
this is what I think here. Can Jackson Holiday, Joey Ortiz, Heston Kjerstad, Connor Norby, Kobe Mann, Samuel Basallo, Dylan Beavers, can any of those guys pitch?
right.
Then why the hell are you holding on to them? It's very
Exactly.
frustrating being an Orioles fan, and I'll tell you why. And this is kind of what I was thinking about your window. The Orioles, you would expect the window to be open for a few years, but you don't know. In sports, nothing's guaranteed. Because what if Adley Rutschman tears his UCL in spring training next year? What if Gunnar Henderson
Don't even
tears
say
his ACL?
don't even
I
say that.
hope not, but you never know what's going to happen. What if Felix Bautista gets found out? What if he's terrible next year? What if DL Hall never materializes what people
He
think he's
won't.
going to? What if
He's
Grayson
not.
Rodriguez reverts to what he was at the beginning of the season?
Well, let me
You
just say
never
this:
know.
if
You
you
don't.
watch that Yankee series, other than the first game, when who pitched? Oh, Grayson Rodriguez looked like what everybody thought Friday, but other than that, their pitching was awful.
Yeah.
And it really shows up, and they are not going to do anything in the playoffs with that pitching.
No, they don't.
And
They need two more pitchers. I think right now Bradish and
they're
I'm getting close to trusting Rodriguez again because he's had a couple good outings since coming back. But looking in their system here, DL Hall is back in rookie ball because he has no velocity, and then you got Cade Povich, and apart from those two guys, they're and Seth Johnson. That's it.
he's not playing until next year.
And so that's your top 15 prospects, 16 prospects. You have three pitchers in the back half of those 16.
And they had
There's
Carter
nothing on the.
Baumler. They drafted, and I think since the COVID year they
Yeah,
drafted him. I think
he's
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 pitched
still
what,
in
like
rookie ball.
10 innings, like
Yeah,
10 innings.
they said they don't project him to get there until 2026. So there's nothing on the horizon there for pitching, but they're just hoarding all the prospects. I read today Sigma Jaw, whatever his name is,
Sig
very smart
Madoff.
baseball guy, very smart baseball
No,
guy.
very
Very
smart analytic guy.
that's what I'm saying. He's a nerd. He's a baseball nerd. That's
But let
what
me
he
ask
seems.
you this. Oh, finish your statement, and I'll tell you what I think.
They said he wants to hoard all the prospects, and because that's what he believes in, but they don't have the pitching staff to
Well,
make
let
it
me
like all
ask
these
you:
other teams do.
Atlanta and Houston every year they make trades usually, and they pick up somebody. You can go down and look at a list of what they've done in the play. When they made trades and how they helped them, and because they took from their farm system, you build it. For example, next year, Holiday, Westberg will be at second. Holiday at some point, probably spring training on, will be at shortstop, and Gunner will be third. All right, so you got Ortiz behind them. Where's he going to play? Where's Mateo going to play? Get rid of him. Frazier
Yep.
probably won't be re-signed. You got outfield. How many outfielders can you use? You got Kierstad. He's batting like 340. Hit 3 4 hits today again. Ortiz batting 340. He had home run and everything today. He had like 3 hits. There's nowhere for these to play. Kowser, Mullins. They love McKenna for some
Hey,
reason.
there's a new
And I
rumor.
met.
I'm reading a new rumor. Hey,
What's that?
the Rangers are going to try to get Verlander too.
Well, yeah. Well, I think he wants out, but that's a preemptive strike, so Houston don't get him back. See,
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
I think it is. I said the Braves want him too. But the thing is, if there's only one team that can beat, there's one team that can beat all these guys in the prospect market.
Well,
And
I think the big loser in the trade so far, and it's got till Tuesday, but so far the big loser is Orioles because they think they're going to stand pat and make it. Well, they may make wild card, but they're going to be treading water with their pitching staff. Kramer sucks. Wells, they sent him to Double A. Okay, his last 7 starts were terrible. Okay, Gibson ain't worth a damn. He pitches one good game, couple bad games. Cole Irvin's proved he ain't worth a crap. Okay, so that leaves us with Grayson Rodriguez. Okay, and they're saying, well, we're getting John Means back. That's like an acquisition at the trade
maybe
deadline. We don't know what Means is going to be like. He ain't pitched in a year and a half. Who knows if he's got anything? And he was
they
only an
said,
average pitcher. He's
you
a
know,
number 3 starter to begin with.
I, this is what they've always done. And I don't want to turn this into an Orioles show, but this is what
And
they've.
and and the thing is, Duquette was man behind all that crap before, and Buck. Now it's Elias, and when he was in Houston, they did things. He's seen how they did it and how they won. So what in the hell? I mean, it's not like we're doing something just to do it. They need pitching. There's no question, no
Yep.
question. Their
Yep.
bullpen's terrible, with the exception of the mountain there, Batista. But other than that, Cano, he
I
pitched
read
okay
today.
tonight.
Someone said on Twitter, it said it's cute how they keep wrapping Cano up with Batista when they talk about how good the Orioles bullpen is recently.
That's a good comment because
That's just these commentators aren't watching it; they're just looking at the stat lines. And his ERA
right.
is probably 1.9, and he did good tonight.
But
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 look at his last 7 games.
from watching him, he's not effective anymore.
No, and I think it's fatigue. And no, Jim Palmer's one of the guys I really trust in his opinions on things. I'm a big Jim Palmer fan. They said his arm slot's going down, and maybe that's Ben McDonald. One of them said that. I really like Ben McDonald too.
Yeah.
But
Well, hey, they've been there. They've done that. They know.
it
You
will.
know.
Well, Yenier Cano, his arm slot's going down. But and you look at his overall ERA in his last 15 games is 4, which is not
did I not tell
horrible.
you? Did I not tell you a while back? That's what's going to happen. The
You know,
real Cano come out.
but in his last 7 games, though, you look at that, it's only 2.84, and I didn't expect him to have a .8 ERA for the whole year. However,
No.
good gracious, I'm so sorry. It's late here, but I we'll see. We'll see. Maybe hopefully he doesn't revert back to his Minnesota days. But we're getting at 20 minutes here. T-Bone, what would you like to add in here? Let's kind of tie up some loose ends here. What's your outlook? What do you think? Any big trades? Your predictions in the next 24
Well,
hours?
my hope the Orioles. You know, there's talk about them being interested in Lorenzen, who was an All-Star. But if you get Lorenzen and look at his numbers,
He's an all-star because they had to have a player from every team.
exactly. And I mean, they already got what he is, a 3.5 to 4 ERA guy that ain't worth a crap. You
Yep.
can't count on him. I mean, I know there's only one Garrett Cole, but I watched him piece them up the other night. That was the man pitching there, buddy. Whether you like the Yankees or not, Garrett Cole is a bad dude. And he's one of the guys, he'll throw inside, knock people back. He's a pitcher, and he pitches a lot of damn innings. And he actually should have won that game, but the Orioles just outlasted him, and the Yankee bullpen blew another one. So,
Yep. Yep.
but
But
Garrett Cole's my Cy Young guy anyway.
my prediction is the Rangers aren't done and the Orioles won't do anything. But the
Well,
Yankees, I would be watching the Yankees to be sellers. That's a bold prediction. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if it does.
what do you mean the last place New York Yankees, 9 games out of first
They
with
said this is the
56
first
games?
time since like 1966 where the Orioles are in first place this late in the season. And the Yankees are in last place. Yankees can kiss the division of goodbye, regardless of what they do. They're 9 games out.
Well, they're
That's
going to have to retool the whole damn team this year.
they're
They're
old.
old. They're old, and their
You
pitching
know what?
staff
How about
sucks,
this? How about this? Next week,
except for Cole.
let's do a little special about Brian Cashman. We'll make a little 20-minute documentary about it. And how does he still have a
He
job?
was good when George Steinbrenner was around telling him who to buy.
Yeah, I mean,
Think
how
about
hard is it? Look at the guys they had though at the time. They had Robinson Cano, Jeter was still good, A-Rod was good, Teixeira was good, Mariano Rivera. What's that big fat Sabathia? They had they were the Yankees.
it. Right.
1912, 1913, 1914. All right,
Yeah.
well, let's wrap it up here. We're kind of rambling on, but next week might be a special episode because we're going to be in the same room.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. You're heading this way. Okay. You're right on. All right.
Senor,
Well, hey, that's all for this week. And Brooks knows baseball, folks.
vaya
We'll see
con
you next
Dios.
time. Good night, John Boy.